Hello, and welcome back to Kaiserreich. We're fighting in a lot of wars right now. Some of them are ones that we're losing. Some of them are ones that are tying. Though actually this doesn't look great either. None of them are ones that we're winning. But that's just a matter of time. Victory is within our grasp. I just know it. These guys are trying for a breakout. It's never going to happen. Oh my gosh! We're doing it. I want to try the Grand Pacific Bum Rush. That's so interesting. It wasn't annexed this time. Hungary leaves them until Europa. Alright, that's a war I think we're going to win. Oh yeah, we should air volunteers. Something we could do is... Oh, we don't actually have the power to do that. Fighter wing! Attack wing! I'm gonna do that. And I'm not gonna bother with air support for the Carlos. Crisis on the Danube! Gosh, are you kidding me? Alright, whatever. That's just the loss of Romandy, which is like not a big deal. It doesn't matter. Tensions! Hey. Yeah, we need a... Alright, that's Akiva, Bukhara, Alash. Yeah. It's not really worth it for us. Rising Sun! You hate to see it. I guess we'll get MPs. We'll need it at some point. We got arrival in Trieste. Hold up. Where's the other planes? Whatever. Sure, you'll do. We have the political power necessary to do some stuff. Bro, that's a lot of iron. Yeah, let's do that. Haiti aligns with us. Thank goodness. At least something's going right. can get more tanks.
Ausrücken! Ausrücken!
Dutch elections. Hate to see it.
Befehle? Bereit! Greift weiter an! Ausrücken! Bereit!
I feel like foreign allies are not as necessary. I just kind of want an Ostwall that works. And Finland's not actually that fundamental a part of the Ostwall. Besides that, I don't really care.
Angetreten!
Sure, we'll reduce crit chance. That's fine. Do we have anything? Any buttons? Logistics company, right, I always do that. Okay. We're actually getting some army experience, which is crazy, so good.
Achtung!
We're getting our butts kicked. It's time to go off the offensive.
Zeigt ihnen! Rückzug!
Massive public works. Establish price controls. It's a little bad. Leading role of government. Yeah, I mean, sure, that'll do.
Greift weiter an! Greift weiter an! Rückzug!
Okay, Flanders has joined the Reichspakt. That's not a good sign. Alright, whatever. Meh.
Angetreten!
Alright, it looks like the answer to that is... Are they still in our faction? Yes. Oh, then I don't care that you're Flanders and Wallonia instead of... You can call yourself whatever you want.
Achtung!
Carlos!
Greift weiter an! Suchen Deckung! Angetreten! Bereit?
Nice! Okay. The Black Dossier. A group of anonymous officers and administrators in Middle Africa have compiled documentation and evidence of illegal activity by Governor Karl Ritter and presented it to the cabinet. The evidence, if proven true, is very serious. According to what the dossier alleges, the governor has been diverting funds from the state budget to buy off key figures in German high society in order to secure support for his administration, as well as demanding state officials pay into a slush fund. Even more darkly, alleges with less evidence that Karl Ritter and his loyalists gather information for blackmail against his own employees, and even involved in kidnapping and intimidation of journalists, or even hiring assassins. A formal investigation must be conducted immediately. They simply get some powerful men in Berlin. Quietly bury it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, so this is like our first real option. Of like, we want to not do a Middle Africa explosion. which I'm like, I don't know. We're going to do a formal investigation. It's not necessarily to our best interest, but
Angetreten.
letting corruption like this slide is just going to beget more of it.
Achtung.
And, you know, as much as it might seem like, oh, it doesn't matter, corruption, whatever, it does.
Bereit.
Not for ethical reasons, but for practical ones.
Bereit.
Okay, more war.
Bereit.
I'm going to try to punch Denver in the nose. Fall of Denver! How are the Americans doing? Oh, the hilarious thing is they're benefiting from Pritwitt's plan. And these guys are not.
Unter Beschuss. Zurück.
Middle Europa Commission Summit. Choice of agenda. Delegates from all Middle European states gather in Berlin for biannual discussion, as well as negotiation in the direction of the bloc's activities. Though hundreds of different issues will be discussed, only those which receive the attention of enough member states will receive the time of day they need. It will also be up to the chairman of the Middle European Commission, who's currently from the German Empire, to select which of the many proposals will be implemented by the bureaucratic authorities. There are 3 proposals, considerable support from the member states, which sadly mean not everyone can be satisfied with the Commission's decision today. It is, however, up to the chairman. Arms exports, arms industry. I think. Oh, I guess industrial advisors, front runner agenda, second place agenda, third place agenda. Let's do front runner agenda. Okay. I'm not really sure how that works. Peru is declared on Ecuador.
Zeigt es ihnen.
Yeah, we're just sort of 1Aing to victory there, at least.
Ausrücken.
We need to spread out a little bit more here, because we're kind of supplying ourselves to death. Civic volunteers, yeah, we're actually making progress here. Investments in Egypt, let us both profit.
Angetreten.
Okay, predictably, there's been some capitulation. That's fine. Field hospital might be good. Shoot. What did I just do? Never mind, I just deselected OBS. Clicked. And did that. Okay, whatever. Do we want anything? Paratroopers? No. Man, I don't know. I guess we're just doing passive sonar, because we're going to use this at some point. Dude, the Syndicalists are going to be so OP. Like, it's not good for us. Geological mapping, I suppose. Budget failure in the Prussian legislature. It should be no surprise that not everyone was happy with the formation of the first social democratic government in German history. Conservative and reactionary politicians are livid and are searching for any levers of power from which they could topple their cabinet. The solution they found came from Prussia, where thanks to plural suffrage in the House of Representatives and the aristocratic composition of the House of Lords, they hold an outsized amount of power. In Prussia, they've chosen the path of complete obstruction. One after another, protests against federal legislation have been lodged by Prussian legislature. And cooperation between these two branches of government is becoming increasingly difficult, if even possible. The final slap in the face came when the Prussian House of Lords suddenly refused to vote on next year's Prussian budget and declined any alternative proposals with the same level of vitriol. Outright obstructionism, with the intent of taking down the Prussian government in order to press the pain on the SDP, a very tactless move, but one which is genuinely painful. The federal government still relies on the Prussian administration to execute its laws, and if Prussian civil service is getting furloughed, then the entire government may end up paralyzed. This is outright sabotage. I'm considering my options.
Greif weiter an!
How the Carlos doing? Still bad. Though it hasn't, world hasn't ended.
Befehle!
Let's do that.
Los, los, los!
Alright. Thing we need to do is make contact with the Cindies. Ah, boy. Portuguese Middle Africa dispute. Our Middle African governor has come to us with a request for aid. He speaks of Portugal's boarding bandits that murder German and African police and endanger our rule for Africa. What should we do? We shall take up the matter with Portugal ourselves. Hey, bud. Americans remain dominant. Okay. That's better than the alternative. Okay. Portugal offers an explanation. The Portuguese ambassador explained in great deal the chaotic situation in the Remuva region. Who knew Africa was so complicated? No matter, demand they step down immediately. Yeah. Sorry, bud. Follow Baton Rouge. That's
Zeigt es ihnen!
right. That's the American rebels. And that's it. We won in Austria. Okay, sovereignists dominate Middle Africa. The press pack in Berlin has been abuzz with reports about sweeping political changes taking place within the traditionally secretive Middle African colonial administration, despite the colony's governor, Karl Ritter, having undergone a bruising legal battle in the German courts. It appears his political survival has been greatly emboldened. The so-called Slebsverwalter faction Dar es Salaam, using the principle established in the case of Kenyatta v. Solf, that within Middle Africa the governor's sovereignty cannot be infringed. Karl Ritter's more hardline faction become ascendant domestically. The dark continent is sure to get darker and influence these figures, many of whom have long treated Middle Africa as more than a personal fiefdom, a strange state of affairs. I may... crap. Okay. The sovereign governor, Karl Ritter, has refused to step down, though his intermediary, through his intermediary, Carl Schmidt, he's argued that governors is a sovereign office, able to step outside of the law and secure with loyal members of the army with no easy means of resolving the crisis. Having won the Kenyatta affair, Schmidt argues that this situation takes precedent from the affair, and therefore we should subject to the same ruling. Our options are available. While the Bundesrat would politically never stand for anything other than Ritter's removal and arrest, what friendly sources we still have in Dar es Salaam tell us that Ritter is mad with power and will sink the ship rather than abandon it if we try to end his ill-begotten reign. Oh well. Sink the ship then. That's the way it goes sometimes. We're gonna establish price controls. Okay, Italian Civil War resumes. We are going to support the SRI and the Papal State. Oh, we can't send volunteers yet.
Befehle. Angetreten. Achtung.
You'll do.
Angetreten. Los, los, los! Unter Beschuss.
Okay. The Prussian Rashad, faced with the aggressive resistance of the House of Lords, the government of Prussia, which was already conservative and opposed to the SDP, chose to join along. The Prussian cabinet has been reshuffled, and more right-wing conservative politicians have added to their ranks, all while the minister-president has announced they will refuse all offers of negotiation with the federal government for the time being. A standoff between the federal and Prussian governments, feared since the position of the Reichschancellor and the Prussian minister-president were severed from each other, has begun. A very conservative Prussian budget, which will deliberately cripple federal government functions, may be passed in the future, but for now, government is becoming increasingly paralyzed. Not good! We may, need to press some buttons. We're winning the Black Monday game, but I think we're losing most of the other games. That's fine. Okay. Okay. I think the commune might be hosed, but we'll see. Huh. An endorsement! Though seemingly besieged from all sides by conservatives and reactionaries. The Democratic Union Coalition is plenty of supporters as well. Today, a novel, yet not entirely unexpected endorsement came from the Nobel Prize laureate, longtime chairman of the Institute of Physics in the Kaiser Wilhelm Society, Albert von Einstein. Recognized as one of the greatest minds of the 20th century thanks to his groundbreaking theories of general and special relativity, Einstein holds great prestige across German high society. He uses his weight to campaign for political ideas. He is a member of the pacifist Bund Neues Vaterland, which campaigns for world peace and attends adherence to international law. He's written fondly of socialism and social reform and supports the creation of a Jewish national homeland in Palestine. No comment. Now, he openly endorses our government, stating in writing that of the parties competing in the Reichstag, the necessity for great social and political reform of the empire can only be achieved by the SPD. It's greatly appreciated. Let us repay in kind to the genius of our age. So we can get political power and place stability, or we can get a pretty great national advisor. Wow, that research speed is nice. Okay. That's why wartime is higher, but like, you know, this is the long-term play. We might want him in the late game. Let's bring him on. Einstein as a national advisor, sure. Uh-oh. Now we have retaken Madrid. Can we push for Valencia? Fervor high. I presume their fervor is also high. It's not as high, but... Okay, volunteer forces have returned. I hate how high that number is. I think we need to... start... I think we need to demand renewal of Treaty of Metz. Yeah, we can't do that anymore. New turn! Do we have any more draw cards? Yeah, we do. Okay. We can press more buttons! More button. Okay, Peruvian president has been assassinated. What the heck? Italian? We gave them volunteers, right? I thought we sent them volunteers. Okay, I guess volunteers... Alright, volunteers are en route. Alright, the French are fighting some pathetic rebellions. Barely worth getting involved with. Great. Meeting in Berlin! A particularly secret meeting between numerous influential figures of the right has been held in Berlin, where the reforms by the Mueller cabinet and the recent political realignment of the Prussian legislature are being discussed in a surprising show of unity ever since their failure to topper either Kurt von Schleicher or the Democratic Coalition in 1936. The meeting was organized by the chairman of the DKP and DVLP, Kuno von Westarp and Ulrich von Hassel. They were joined by their contact in the Prussian House of Lords, Otto II, Zuhl, son of Holmstar, long-known sympathizer of Hassel's far-right movement, Heinrich Klaas, representing the Pan-German League, Aldolf von Trotha from the Navy League, and Thilo von Wilimowski, a conservative well acquainted with several interest groups, were also present. The discussion centered around the SDP government and its future. All attendees agreed that the social democratic agenda would lead to syndicalism, mob rule, economic collapse, decay of moral values, and so on and so forth. Nothing specific came of the meeting, yet. All attendees guaranteed their support to the rebellion of the Prussian legislature and vowed to see the downfall of the cabinet of Mueller and the ascension of the responsible government from the national opposition by all means necessary. Not good. Government paralysis. Great. What does that mean? What? It's probably a... Okay, just less political power. That's very bad, but... not the end of the world. Okay. How are we doing? Okay. Alright, the thing we need to do, now that we've taken Denver, we need to start pushing against the combined syndicates. American Union State is nearing collapse, which is, I don't know if that's great for us, but it's actually probably bad. Um,
Amputated.
I'm gonna try that. No, that would never work. Fall of Boston! The Athens of America has fallen. Great. We're getting army experience. We'll definitely need to spend that on tanks. Okay. Cabinet meeting on the Prussia question. Extraordinary meeting of the Reichschancellor and secretaries, as well as representatives of all parties representing the Democratic Union, has been held. It's the budget failure of the Prussian legislature was the main topic of discussion. A few options were considered. Briefly, the possibility of the Reichsexecution was brought up. However, though Prussia's uncooperation with the federal government certainly fulfills the requirements, it's considered too extreme to be pulled off. However, how could the Prussian army choose to overthrow its own government? Instead, the cabinet came to the conclusion they must negotiate. There are a few avenues to make Prussia bend without violent rupture. The anti-social democratic coalition in the House of Representatives is not solid. It is composed of several different interests. Some may be more willing to negotiate than others because we'll find helpful allies in the Prussian government who could do the negotiating for us. Let us review our options. So we have a terrible budget crisis, but we have solutions. Well, ooh. Ooh. Huh. Well, crud. Alright, so we're going to see you in the next episode. We're going to try to figure this out and try to not select the Schleicher option because Schleicher is a dangerous man. I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.